In Revelation chapter 22 and verse 16, Jesus is speaking, and he says that he's sending an angel to give a testimony that he is the offspring of the root of David, and that he gives this testimony. He says, and that he is the bright and morning star. Oh, Jesus is the bright and morning star of our lives, and he's so wonderful. I've discovered that the brightest stars always shine on the darkest nights. When our hearts are filled with despair, when we're discouraged, when it looks like all is going wrong, then His light shines in us the brightest in that moment. Not only in our lives, I've discovered throughout the history of the church that has been true, that the brightest stars always shine on the darkest nights. In fact, revival, the glory of God often comes to the people of God at that moment of darkness. That's when God works. That's when He comes and visits us and does this tremendous work in our lives. In my own life, I know that one of the greatest works that He's ever done was in a very dark moment. My wife and I was pastor in Germany of an American military community, and I was pastor of a church there, working with them, trying to minister to them, trying to share the love of Jesus, help them to grow. And God was blessing. Our church was growing. Great things were happening. But during that time, our son became ill. And oh man, it was hard. We prayed and we prayed and we prayed. And it seemed like the heavens were closed. And it was just a dark time, a dark moment in our lives. God was blessing in the church, but in our family life, and didn't know what was happening. One day when I came in, my wife was sitting at the table, and she said, "Sammy, I need to talk to you." And she began to share with me what was happening in her heart. And as she shared with me, boy, God just broke my heart. And I saw myself, I saw my sin. I was broken. I confessed sin. She confessed sin. There was a revival that took place in our marriage, and God brought healing to our marriage. And I'm convinced that I wouldn't be sitting here right now doing what I'm doing if we had not had that revival. You see, it was at that dark moment that we were open to God to speak to our hearts in ways that we had never heard Him before. And so God was able to go deep within us, and the bright and morning star began to shine so brightly within us. And He did this great work. And God's blessed me with such a wonderful wife. And over all these years, we've walked together, served God together. Matter of fact, it was right after that we went into Romania and we began to minister in Romania. And then years after that, we saw the revolution and the glory of God. And I could go on and on and on and tell you of all the great things. But you see, God had to allow darkness to cover my own life so that the bright and morning star could shine in me, through me, expose some things and do a great work. So today I want to say to you, Jesus is the bright and morning star. Let Him shine in you.